It's Monday, November 10th. In the headlines, European Union delivers 50 tons of relief supplies to Jamaica. Sagicor commits $200 million to hurricane relief efforts. In business news, Supreme Ventures Limited reports 9 months net profit. Regionally, Guyana to change its migrant laws. And in sports, New Zealand edged Windies in the third T20 International. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport will spearhead national fundraising efforts, including the I Love Jamaica telethon and concert series, to support recovery initiatives following the widespread devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. The telethon is scheduled for Sunday, November 23 from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. and will feature performances by local and international artists in a show of solidarity with affected communities. Portfolio Minister Olivia Grange announced the details during a media briefing on Thursday at the ministry's New Kingston offices.
So in this regard, we have mobilized the men and women of our creative and sports sectors towards the national hurricane relief effort. We intend to leverage the power of the creative and sports sector to source the necessary resources to assist our brothers and our sisters, particularly those in the western parishes. The I Love Jamaica initiative has two main components: a star-studded telethon to be broadcast and streamed across the world, and a series of concerts, both pop concerts, secular concerts, and gospel concerts, featuring some of the island's best artists and musicians, as well as Friends of Jamaica, that will take place in the main Jamaica diaspora cities across the world.
Jamaica has received another shipment of humanitarian aid, coordinated and financed by the European Union to bolster national relief and recovery efforts following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa on October 28. The consignment, which arrived at the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston on Thursday, contains approximately 50 tons of water, sanitation, shelter, and health supplies for communities hardest hit by the storm. European Commissioner for Equality, Preparedness and Crisis Management, Hadja Labib, handed over the shipment.
The European Union has moved quickly to help to deliver clean water, food, medical care and shelter to those who need it most. Together with our humanitarian partners and through our UCPM, we are providing vital support on the ground. So many have lost loved ones, homes and livelihoods, but in the middle of this tragedy, we have also seen incredible strength and solidarity from the people of Jamaica.
Speaking at a press brief on Sunday, Minister of Efficiency, Innovation and Digital Transformation, Ambassador Audrey Marks, expressed gratitude for the bloc's quick response.
It's several countries so far of the EU delegation that they are here, they are on the ground, they are delivering support in the areas of greatest need: field hospitals, generators, logistical tracking systems, and every type of supply that is needed by the most hard-hit communities.
Speaking at the media briefing, Ms. Labib noted her condolences for Jamaica's loss and said she is impressed by the government's response.
Your effort to coordinate relief and protect affected communities are really commendable. This disaster did not destroy your courage, or your determination to rebuild. And the European Union stands with you in this dark hour.
Sagicor Group Jamaica, through the Sagicor Foundation, has committed $200 million to assist communities affected by Hurricane Melissa, including $40 million in direct aid for impacted employees. So far, 224 staff members in the hardest hit parishes have been identified for targeted relief, and family boxes have been distributed to over 670 people across 48 communities in 5 parishes. The company has also mobilized volunteers, provided grants and interest-free loans to help employees rebuild, and is exploring additional support for affected clients. The initiative is being backed by Sagicor Financial Company, which will match donations from staff in other territories to aid recovery. During a visit to Black River St. Elizabeth, Sagicor President and CEO Christopher Zaka expressed sympathy for affected workers and reaffirmed the company's commitment to helping them recover. The National Water Commission, NWC, says customers in Western Westmoreland, Negril, and sections of Hanover that operations at its Logwood water treatment plant have been successfully restored following the installation of a replacement generator on November 8. The NWC's technical teams worked around the clock to install and commission the replacement unit, allowing for the resumption of normal water supply to the affected service areas. In the business report, Supreme Ventures Limited unaudited financials for the 9 months ended September 30, 2025, reports 9 months net profit attributable to shareholders of $555.05 million. Dollar Financial Services Limited unaudited financials for the 9 months ended September 30, 2025, reports 28% increase in 9 months net profit. And Lasco Financial Services Limited's unaudited financials for the 6 months ended September 30, 2025, reports 866% jump in 6 months net profit. Grace Kennedy and several major companies are moving quickly to support staff and communities hit hard by Hurricane Melissa. Grace Kennedy says hundreds of its workers in St. Elizabeth, St. James, Trelawney, and Westmoreland were affected, and efforts are underway to restore full operations. Jamaica Broilers has also launched relief initiatives across Western Jamaica, partnering with groups like Samaritan's Purse to assist families. Its Best Dressed Chicken division is supplying free chicken to help prepare hot meals, while staff are donating food, water, bedding, and other essentials. Victoria Mutual Building Society is offering up to a 6-month loan moratorium for members whose homes or livelihoods were damaged. VM says each request will be assessed individually to determine the level of support needed. Time now for a report on the movements in the financial market with Denise Williams.
For the trading period ending November 7, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Atlantic Hardware and Plumbing Company Limited with 5,956,040 units, representing 28.87% of market sales volume. Trans Jamaica Highway Limited with 5,804,764 units, representing 28.14% of market sales volume. Wigton Energy Limited with 1,710,865 units, representing 8.29% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On November 7, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $74.48 million purchased and US $64.7 million sold by forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.08 per dollar, selling the US at $159.98 and buying the US at $161.06. The Canadian dollar netted forex traders $3.55 per transaction, with selling at $115.62 and buying at $112.07. The British pound yielded forex traders $9.21 in profit, with selling at $204.56 and buying at $213.77. For our credit report tip of the day, whether it's a hurricane, unexpected medical bills, or a sudden financial setback, understanding your credit report is the first step to regaining control. It's not just a number. It's a guide to what you owe, what you can access, and how quickly you can rebuild. In our funded and focused feature, we're looking at building out your financial life. And that's why a credit readiness snapshot is a game changer. It's your first step to clarity, confidence, and control. Here's what it does. You check your credit health to understand where you stand today. You identify areas to improve. You pinpoint what's holding you back. You take actionable next steps. You get practical guidance to strengthen your credit. You get funding readiness plan so you can learn how to position yourself for loans, grants, and investment. And then you get knowledge and empowerment. You build confidence in financial decision making. With that said, imagine walking into a funding meeting knowing exactly what your credit says about you and how it can work in your favor. That's power, that's focus, that's funding. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. See you soon.
In regional news, Guyana's Vice President Bharat Jagdeo says the government is looking to establish laws that will curtail the rights of migrants.
At a press conference at his party's headquarters on Robb Street, Mr. Jagdeo said the recent bombing at a gas station has caused the government to look at the issue of migration closer, and new measures are actively being considered.
Further, we have to pass laws to determine what rights people are going to have here if they are migrants. We want people to come and work, because we need that, like on construction sites where we have shortages, etc. But they can't change the nature of our society. And we've made it clear that we would have to think about people who come here and maybe they can have residency but not voting rights.
The Vice President said a new migrant policy is also in the works. He said that with the government's new EID program, every person present in the country will have to be registered. This, he noted, will help the government to know the people in the country, and then the government can gauge their movements.
So every person in Guyana will have a card with biometrics there, facial recognition, everything there on it. If you don't have that card, hard to survive in this country. You can't be working because the employers, people who employ you, will face serious penalties when they check their workers and they don't have that card. To open a bank account, you need a card of that nature. To remit money to another country, because some people send money back home, we're here, you'd need that card.
Jagdeo said the administration will hold consultations on how much rights it is prepared to accord the people who come to Guyana, given that the country must be preserved for Guyanese. He said the new interventions are nothing new, and they have happened in places like Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. He described the issue as a crucial one for the safety and security of the country.
The National Training Agency of Trinidad and Tobago and the Tobago House of Assemblies, the Division of Finance, have signed a memorandum of understanding for the implementation of a training needs assessment in Tobago. The signing ceremony was held at the Victor E. Bruce complex.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, Hansen Nawine Singh, noted that developing Tobago's economy is part of the government's national agenda. He noted the signing of the MOU between the Division of Finance and the National Training Agency focuses on unlocking the potential of Tobagonians to become entrepreneurs and is a blueprint for building Tobago's workforce for the future.
Through a data-driven collaborative approach, it seeks to identify where the gaps exist, what skills are most needed, and how training and education can meet these demands. It will examine Tobago's priority economic areas such as tourism, construction, creative industries, emerging enterprises, digital technology, manufacturing, and determine what competencies are required for those sectors to thrive.
Chairman of the NTA Chanda Gupta C. Prasad also expressed the agency continues its collaboration with the THA as it aims to provide training opportunities that align with industry requirements and will promote economic growth in Tobago.
It marks a very significant step in our collective mission to strengthen TVET, Technical Vocational Education and Training, not just in Trinidad, but equally and intentionally here in Tobago. A training needs assessment for Tobago is very timely because the island is developing and will develop very quickly in a short while.
THA Secretary of Finance Petal Ann Roberts, who explained that human capital development is a priority for the THA for fiscal 2026, gave the commitment that there will be a meaningful outcome following the assessment.
This cooperative approach is deliberate, I'm sure. It recognizes that if the people of Tobago are to benefit from a modern workforce agenda, then policy, training, and development must move in tandem. The MOU further makes clear that this partnership rests on an already established and proven relationship, because Mr. Superstar did indicate that many years ago this was done before.
THA Administrator Melissa James Guy also committed to ensuring tangible results, as she noted the MOU will improve the competitiveness of Tobago's labour market and ensure Tobagonians have equitable access to the tools and the training they need. Carissa Douglas, TTT News.
Still in Trinidad, citizens had an invaluable opportunity to assess free, confidential legal advice on the weekend at the second mobile legal clinic hosted through the University of the West Indies Faculty of Law's Project Access program. The event was designed to engage legal professionals in empowering communities and the next generation of attorneys.
Hosted by the University of the West Indies UWI St. Augustine Faculty of Law via the Project Access program, the free mobile legal aid clinic bridged the gap between legal professionals and citizens to bring legal support directly to the community. Team lead and lecturer Dr. Timothy Afonso explained how the initiative supports one of the core pillars of the UWI St. Augustine Faculty of Law.
Today is actually the second legal aid clinic as part of our Project Access, which is a project that has been funded by the Rockefeller Philanthropic Advisors. So they have provided funding, and one of the core pillars of the Faculty of Law is to ensure that persons have access to legal services. So the Legal Aid Clinic is one of our initiatives to ensure that members of the public have access to important, valuable, reliable legal advice.
Dr. Afonso confirmed that the range of concerns addressed by the Legal Aid Clinic could span everything from family and civil law, criminal law, land and property law, wills and probate, to letters of administration.
So what we have is a network of attorneys who have all given up their time, and this is not the first time they've done it, to provide legal advice free of charge to the general community. And we've noticed that a lot of people sometimes just don't even know where to begin. So what they get today is reliable information from dedicated lawyers who, in a field of areas, sometimes it could be as simple things as a relative may have passed and they don't know what to do next, or what the impact of that would be on land matters. Some things deal with criminal matters. So it's really a broad brush approach to what some of the legal issues would be.
Faculty of Law researcher Cara John added that the free mobile legal aid clinic also empowers the next generation of attorneys to be more attuned to the deeper needs of society.
We really have a two-pronged initiative as well. So while we're reaching out to communities in Trinidad and Tobago, we're also using the opportunity to train our students. So our students are part of every single step along the legal aid clinic journey, from intake to exit forms and to actually sitting with attorneys and learning the client's interview process, as well as learning more about the law and the practical application, the procedural application of the principles that they're learning in their classrooms.
Project Access plans to continue serving citizens in 2026 with a third free mobile legal aid clinic scheduled for January 17 at the Diego Martin Community Centre. Citizens are invited to visit the UE Faculty of Law page for updates. Stacia Yearwood, TTT News.
Further afield, this year marks the 10th anniversary of the Paris Agreement. And as COP30 unfolds in Brazil amid rising climate crisis, the urgency is clear. Developed countries are working to meet their emission reduction targets, while intensifying disasters and record temperatures threaten communities worldwide. Our reporter Marlon Samuels examines the facts, global efforts, and Jamaica's resilience in facing this urgent crisis.
Rising global temperatures, melting glaciers, and more frequent weather events all point to a changing climate driven largely by human activity. From burning fossil fuels to deforestation, our actions have significantly impacted the planet's delicate balance. Climate change is real, and it's accelerating. The last few decades have seen unprecedented warming, with serious consequences for ecosystems and communities worldwide. The scientific community overwhelmingly agrees it's one of the most pressing issues of our time and a real phenomenon.
Both the scientific evidence and the facts in reality have shown us there are more frequent droughts, more extreme weather events happening around the world. In China, for example, in the last several years in Beijing and northern China plain, where we used to not have severe floods, we experienced severe floods. In both in cities and in rural areas, rural areas around Beijing.
For major players like China, tackling this global crisis is ongoing. China has emerged as a leader in renewable energy development. They have invested heavily in solar and wind power, aiming to reach carbon neutrality by 2060. Major cities are adopting electric public transportation, and the government is phasing out coal plants in favor of cleaner energy sources. While challenges remain, China's policies reflect a commitment to reducing emissions and leading by example.
Especially after 2015 Paris Agreement, we made it very clear about goals for climate mitigation through energy intensity reduction, through energy substitution. For example, substituting wind and solar energy for fossil fuel energies, and we also use forestry as a key sector for climate mitigation through tree growing, forest expansion of forest area, and increase in forestry quality.
International summits like the Paris Agreement signed in 2015 is a global pact to limit temperature rise to below 2 degrees Celsius. While many countries have made commitments, progress has been uneven. Some nations are on track, while others lag behind. citing economic or political hurdles. Recent reports suggest that global emissions have continued to rise, indicating that more aggressive action is needed to meet the targets set forth.
Each country assesses their own contribution through considering their economic stage, their political and social feasibility, and I think this is more reasonable than just simply giving them assignment.
For small island states, climate change isn't just an environmental issue. It's a matter of survival. Jamaica is investing in renewable energy, such as solar and wind, to reduce dependency on imported fuels. Coastal communities are adapting climate resilience infrastructure to withstand hurricanes and rising sea levels. International aid and partnerships are also crucial, helping these nations adapt and build resilience.
We need money, we need infrastructure, we need human capital. So all this kind of capacity building is very important for countries like Jamaica to adapt to climate change and cope with risks. I like Jamaica a lot because of your coffee, and the coffee industry is a major, plays important role for your economic development, and this sector is very vulnerable to climate change. So I think sooner or later you need to, my personal view is that the science should guide the policy design, and also technical extension is very important for your country.
Climate change is a complex challenge that requires coordinated effort from all nations. While progress is being made, it's clear that stronger commitments and innovative solutions are needed to protect our planet for future generations. Reporting from Beijing, China, I'm Marlon Samuels for the news on PBCJ.
In sports, we look to cricket. Despite a valiant effort, the West Indies men's cricket team came up just 10 runs short when they suffered a defeat at the hands of New Zealand. A defeat that puts the Kiwis 2-1 up the best-of-5 series.
New Zealand, who batted first, got off to a positive start thanks to 56 runs by opener Devon Conway before he was run out by Alec Athenaeus. After scores of 23 and 26 by Tim Robinson and Rachid Ravindra respectively, David Mitchell, with the score at 114 for 4, scored 41 runs to help propel New Zealand to 177 for 9 at the end of their 20 overs. For the West Indies, despite the loss of Amir Jangu and captain Shea Hope early on, batters Alec Athenaeus and Akeem Ogis carried the Windies to 68 for 6 after 8.5 overs. However, the wickets continued to fall, with the Windies stuck at 88 for 8 at the 11th over. An impressive knock of 49 by Romario Shepherd and 39 by Shamar Springer led the Windies on the cusp of a late victory. Unfortunately, both batters were dismissed in the final 2 overs, resulting in a 9-wicket defeat, coming just 10 runs short on 168. Adrian Nazar, TTT Sport.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you for watching.